Tristan Harris has been called the conscience of Silicon Valley.
Well, I'm very excited to talk to you, and we should point out, Tristan, we are both phone-free.
He was a product manager at Google, but quit when he saw how tech companies are hijacking our brains.
These products are shaping what 2 billion people think every day. I mean, that's more power than any government in history. I mean, there's 2 billion people who use Facebook. That's more than the number of followers of Christianity. 1.5 billion people use YouTube. That's more than the number of followers of Islam. So, and arguably with a bigger surface area or footprint on people's mental lives than many religions have had in the past. I mean, in terms of how often we're checking in to this environment.
People are praying at the altar of social media.
In a way. And I think we have to ask, how are those structures, those systems of social media, are they genuinely looking out for what would make society best, most well off? Or because of their business model, are they most concerned with what captures people's attention?
I think I have the answer to that question.
I think you do.
You went to Burning Man and you had this sort of come to Jesus moment, right?
But it was after about a year of working with the Gmail team that I started to get a little bit disenchanted about, not Google, but just when is all of this stuff that we're doing, answering these likes, accepting the invitations, commenting on these things that we're being tagged in, answering these emails, when is this actually adding up to a difference or a net positive benefit in my life or our lives or in our work?
So what's in it for Snapchat or all these other companies when it comes to the attention economy? What do they get for that?
Well, they get our attention, and it's.
But what does that buy them, in other words?
Well, it buys them their revenue and their stock price, because all of it, so long as the business model is advertising, they make more money the more attention and time we spend, period. So long as attention and profit are coupled together, it's going to get more and more competitive, and it's going to get more and more persuasive at pulling on the strings of human nature, which is why this conversation about how we need the system to be different is so important.
In many ways, these are like tobacco companies, right? Trying to get us hooked?
Yeah, and it's funny because I think that there's so many benefits and additional capacities and capabilities that we're offered with technology that are truly amazing. I mean, right, like I've gotten to reconnect with friends from elementary school that I would have never found. I mean, I love searching for things on Google and researching things. There's so many great new benefits that we get, that we're sort of drunk on these benefits, that it's hard to see the misalignment, that they're not always on our team to basically help us live our lives or have the relationships we want. They're only on the team of whatever captures attention. If you've been using Facebook for 5 or 6 years, they've got 6 years of information about what has ever worked on you to get you to click or share or comment. And it can use all of that information to basically feed that back to you. People think that they're in control, but really they decided the menu 20 steps ago. So one of the techniques is with Snapchat, which is the #1 texting app used by teenagers. So like just you and I use texting to communicate with our friends, but that's what Snapchat is for them. Like for just opening their mouth for teenagers, they have to use Snapchat. And what they do is they show the number of days in a row that you've sent a message with each friend in your contacts.
Right, and those streaks.
The streaks, it's called.
Are really important. I just heard about those.
Well, kids don't...
Why do people care about streaks?
Because once you see that with your best friend, Snapchat shows you 150 days, you're like, oh no, we've been chatting 150 days. I don't want that to go away, so I have to chat tomorrow to keep up the streak. But it's like putting 2 kids on treadmills and then hitting start while tying their legs together, so they both have to keep running, passing these messages back and forth. I mean, I think we have millions of kids that literally feel so stressed out that they give their password to 5 friends to keep their streaks going when they have to go on vacation with their family or something like that. They're called streak managers. And so just imagine the amount of stress that it adds to a kid's life to have to basically manage all of these things and feel as if their friendships are on the brink, that they're gonna lose their friendship if they don't keep this going. And that's what's so dangerous, is it's not just a conversation about, oh, we're addicted, or a philosophy conversation to have at a cocktail party. There's a very serious problem about how the fabric of society is what we're thinking and believing. And this actually also happened in the election, because politically you can manipulate people by looking at the word choices that they use around divisive topics like immigration. And so whatever word you used about your positive or negative feeling towards immigration, they can create ads that mirror your exact same words back to you, so you will agree with them, and then they can pull you off into a different direction. And so what people miss is they don't understand how much information is being used to manipulate and capture their attention.
And to shape your point of view.
And to shape your point of view.
Most importantly, perhaps.
Right. We were manipulated into being even more polarized than we actually are.
Is Facebook doing enough when it comes to getting to the bottom of this and making sure it doesn't happen again?
Well, so far, the steps that they've taken have only been in response to the public outcry. And what we really need is for them to be proactively making these social networks safe. I think of this like NASA, where you don't say after the rocket ship blows up, like, oh, maybe we should make it safe. You design the safety first, right? You make it safe for discourse first. You think about how are these people getting in here and manipulating the election and preventing that before it happens, as opposed to responding after, a whole country flips over a pothole called fake news and then saying, I've been trying to tell you there was a pothole there. So we need, just like a city, there to be a proactive security force or like a social infrastructure force that's really just caring about the public square and saying this is the public square. It's not a product that we use. It's the public square for 2 billion people. And what people miss about this is it's not obviously just about our country. I mean, this is affecting countries and democracies around the world in places the engineers don't even speak the language of the people using it. And so, for any amount of extra work we want them to do here, we're going to need them to do that in every country and environment. And so this is a conversation really about power and about accountability and having, these companies not just be maximizing profit, but caring about the world that they shape.